and welcome to episode 90 of Formidable Opponents, a show that pits three people who have known each other virtually their entire lives in a series of conversations as we argue what is best, or in this case, the worst, in a variety of fun, engaging, and critical pop culture topics we all debate about. I'm Randall, and with me as always, Bob and Joseph, and this week's topic is Worst 90s One-Hit Wonder. Catchy, cringy, cheesy. No, I'm not talking about the tagline for this podcast. I'm referencing how many would describe some of the most memorable / terrible 90s one-hit wonders. Yes, this week we're blue. Everything around us is blue, and these songs, well, they just blew. The 90s were a time of interesting music. There were contrasts and collaborations of genres everywhere. No longer was pop a fixated specific entity. Cultures grew to embrace a varied and multitudinous mix of music fusion. The 90s were a time of concentrated cynicism, raw misanthropy, and an overall disdain for the norm. But it was also a time for irreverence and not taking ourselves too seriously. And those attitudes led to an open-door policy where perfunctory can live hand in hand with frivolity. When you have these mixtures of behaviors, these clashes of eclectic energy, it's very easy to get lost into the emulsion of the era. You're a huge deal one day, and you're a Geico commercial decades later. Scoop, there it is. You'll notice the elasticity, though varied, share a few things in common. A repetitive, annoying hook, abysmal vocals, and gimmicks. When your band is based on a gimmick, that's enough to get you through the 90s portal. Not everyone hates a fun song. We all hang our hat on a bevy of those endorphin-boosting emotions. The problem is that when you've introduced yourself to a world as something, and you've made your money and garnered your popularity through that specific something, you can't escape from that pigeonhole. You will not be given a chance to evolve. You simply fade away. Music is a fickle business. It doesn't matter if you've attached yourself to a popular dance like the Cotton Eye Joe, or if your only addiction has to do with a female species. You eat them raw like sushi. Thanks for setting us Mexican Americans back, Geraldo. And thank you for helping us recover Enrique Iglesias. He's not Mexican American, but we'll claim him, and is now absentee mole.
He's got a nice mole.
This week, Formidable Opponents debates and discusses worst 90s one-hit wonder. As always, I'm joined by two guys who are still wondering what the fuck Q-Tip was doing on Groove is in the Heart. Bob and Joseph, how are you guys doing?
He was dancing. He was getting down with his bed, so that's what he was doing.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, how's it going? What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? We apologize for all the big words and dictionary skills you have to use after that opening, but
I swear I struggled through that one. You'll not notice that in editing, but yes, it was a struggle. Okay, guys, how are y'all doing this week, Bob and Joseph?
Very nice. I'm glad. I just had a storm roll through right now, but it seems to have calmed down. So we're good. We're good.
I've been watching a lot of TV lately. The Shrinking show is really good. Yeah. Watch that. And, of course, Ted Lasso on season 2. Finally. I know I'm way late to the party, but pretty fucking funny show.
I had introduced my son to Indiana Jones, and I had commented to my wife doesn't Harrison Ford have like the best I don't have fucking time for this face? Like it's just a
him and every other 80-year-old I know.
So you mean back then or currently right now?
Well, now, because Bob had just mentioned the show Shrinking, and Harrison Ford is a star in it. So he just back then, now, I mean, his like just facial reactions have always just been.
I've always thought like now as he's gotten older, he there's the term resting bitch face, which I don't understand, but for Harrison Ford, I would probably, it's more of a shut the fuck up and get out of my face, like constant look. Like if you go up to him, he just looks at you like, get the fuck out of my face.
Is he the celebrity that would be most intimidating to approach?
I would. That's Clint Eastwood.
Well, I can approach.
Like he's like has to take a crap because he ate too many spicy tacos or something.
For me, Harrison Ford definitely one of them. He's just, like I said, he just doesn't look like he wants to be bothered. And as much as I would love to talk to him and say, hey man, you're fucking awesome. You made some great movies.
You need to say, get off my lawn.
He said, get the fuck out of my face.
You would tell Joseph, were you short round? That's just, he just says it to everybody. Yes, Indy. Okay, yes, guys. Indy. So we're talking one-hit wonders. Guys, we're on the road to 100 episodes. This is episode 90. We're talking about the 90s. And what a great era, but also the era had its glitches. We had some great music in the era, and we've done many 90s shows about the wonderful hits that we all enjoyed as young people. But there were some hits that were big around the world that we did not like. And that's what we're talking about today. 90s one-hit wonders. So I'm going to start off with a scenario question, guys. You're in your car listening to 90s music. All of a sudden, a bad 90s one-hit wonder starts playing. Why do you immediately change the station?
Because I have a reputation to uphold. Go ahead, Joseph.
No, I was gonna say because the song fucking sucks. Next question.
Yeah, because the song sucks. I like to cruise with good music. Next question.
So let me follow up with that. Why does a song, what makes a terrible song from a very specific era? What are you looking at? What are some of the elements? What are some of the, I guess you could say, constants that cause the song to say, like, okay, this was, I don't know why the hell this was such a big hit, because it's terrible.
It's a shitty vibe. It's kind of annoying. You know, it's one of those like too poppy and made exactly for a commercial or you know, a shitty movie. That's usually what gets me.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, honestly, I can hear a song. If it hasn't piqued my interest within the first 15 seconds, then it's not going to work for me.
That's what I told her.
I'm picky, man. I'll just say that. Look, I like what I like, and I like a lot of things that, you know, people would be surprised. But, you know, I don't really look for repetitiveness. And I know that might be an answer, you know, repetitive rhythm or repetitive lyrics or something like that. For me, it's the sound. And if it just doesn't sound good right off the bat and I can't vibe with it, then, you know, it's not for me.
Music got so constrained because you had a lot of these like long anthemic songs in the 70s and 80s that took you everywhere. I think to both your points, the 90s was very repetitive in terms of like, okay, we got a catchy hook. Let's say it 5 or 6 times in the chorus and make sure that everybody understands it. That's what the hallmark is that we're going to talk about. You know, and the first song that comes to mind is a song like "Who Let the Dogs Out." I mean, they must have said that phrase in the song, you know, 28 times. And that's probably the only line anybody knows from that song. So to your point, yes, it's just very catchy, hooky lyrics without real substance.
Don't they say like yippee-yi-yo?
Yeah, that's another one. That was Bruce Willis.
No, what I want to add to that though, real quick though, is "Around the World" by Daft Punk says the same thing over and over, but that doesn't stop me from liking it. It's got a good sound.
It's got a good groove.
It's got a good groove.
Good vibe, yeah.
He can repeat "Around the World" fucking 5,000 times. I don't give a shit.
Just wants to do the robot inside a Walmart.
When you're that high, you don't give a shit, right? All right.
Exactly.
We all grew up on 90s music. Why were so many shitty musical acts given a platform during this decade? Why were the floodgates open so wide for this era?
Because it was easy to make money back then. Early on, we were very early on in the MP3 age, I believe, let alone having an MP3 player. Actually look this up, the first MP3 player, the MP Man F10 was released in 1997.
Oh, there you go.
And Napster didn't launch until 1999. So 23 years ago, actually, to this month to be exact, we had to go buy physical copies of music just for one song, you know. And if the album sucked, then we were screwed but that's all we had. I mean, that it was easy to make money back then because if you had one good song, you were gonna go buy the fucking album. That was the only way you can get it.
I think I agree with that 1,000,000%. You know, the album sales and everything like that. But you know, there was just so many different types of music and genres of music. There's how many different types of genres of rock? I think we mentioned that in our greatest or best 90s rock song. I mean, there is just different styles, different types, and you know, they were hitting, man. Different things, you know, different strokes for different folks. You know, certain songs were just hitting, whether you thought they were ridiculous, as somebody else might think that they're super catchy. The 90s were filled with one-hit wonders from all different genres and styles and types of music. And a lot of them ended up, like you said, in Geico commercials or shitty movies or whatever the case is. So I think the 90s just opened up the floodgates, like you said, ran to different styles of music and a shitload of one-hit wonders. And you just had to hope that you were one of the lucky ones that got it on a commercial or a fucking American Pie movie.
And let's be fair, guys. Me and Bob talked about this yesterday. No. These were what the title of the episode is. They were one-hit wonders. They were hits to somebody. They were successful. They made money. They were big songs. We'll be honest with that, and we'll be fair. They did make money. They were, like I said, success. You know, special to somebody. But some
Not
of them,
to us.
not to us. That's why we're doing this episode, and to a lot of people too. I mean, everybody knows a song from the 90s that was a huge fucking hit that you just can't stand or you think is terrible, and that's what we're here to discuss.
Yeah, and great points made by both of you. I think there was way more ways to listen to music. There was a lot more diversity happening in the 90s. 80s was very just sort of MTV pop, and then the 90s grew up into all these subgenres that you both hit on. It felt like a time where anybody could make it big. It didn't feel like, the 80s were all about like huge acts, and if you weren't a big act, if you weren't a We Are the World act, you weren't probably going to have a glam metal, you weren't probably going to have a very successful run. But the 90s allowed for so many people to get up and have an opportunity. I think artists really refined previous music. There was no rules, no specific genre, and that was the most appealing, that in the 90s, you were given a chance. And I think that was the predecessor towards what happened after that with YouTube and all these other streaming services. So good points, guys. Even though we are talking about bad music, did it surprise you that any of the bands you researched didn't go on to make any other hits? I wrote shitty hits, but hits in general.
To do this, you're looking through a full-on 90s one-hit wonder list, and there's good songs. There's a lot of songs that I did like. I was surprised.
Can I give you my example first, and maybe you guys could sort of?
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
I had Blind Melon as a band. I did not like their one hit. I thought No Rain was a terrible song, but this was a good band. I think Shannon Hoon had a great voice. He did some backing vocals for Guns N' Roses too. I think some of their songs were really good. I've always touted Galaxy as their best song. Tones of Home is a good song. Change. Those are all fantastic songs, but their hit was, to me, not a very good song. I mean, even a band like Candlebox that had at least, a couple of follow-ups to Far Behind. They had You and Cover Me. They were consistent, but I thought that Blind Melon, we all missed the boat on them. We all took that No Rain song and made them, one-hit wonders off what I think is a bad song, even though I thought they had some other good songs. And I'm surprised none of their other releases hit big. And I'm just baffled by that. What about you guys? Is there a band that, okay, I hated the song, but I'm surprised they didn't have any other hits considering the time?
Well, I mean, I didn't hate the song, but Baby Got Back, Sir Mix-a-Lot was such a huge, huge fucking hit, and he didn't really do anything after that. So I think that I'm pretty surprised that they didn't have a hit. Another band, some people might love this song, some people might hate it. Flagpole Sitta, dude, I love Harvey Danger's song, and I thought, this band's gonna be putting out some really great music. They're that cool cross between, I don't know, like alternative and kind of grunge, and kind of, they're cool as shit. And for them not to make another single or to make it bigger, I didn't see that coming.
Joseph's just shaking his head. Okay, next question. Now this is kind of a fun one. Okay, I want you guys, if you can, defend one 90s one-hit wonder song a good amount of people found bad, and tell me why it's an actual good song.
I'm surprised, and I guess, because I don't know any other songs from. I got by Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, I fucking hate that song.
I hate that song.
Come on.
They're fucking terrible. It's terrible.
Once there was this girl.
Oh, can I make my voice?
It's a good fucking song.
It's a terrible song.
Great story. Great melody, great harmony. The instrumental piece is great. I mean, I just think it's a cross between.
Did a better version.
It's like Smashing Pumpkins, Weird Al Yankovic. I don't know.
That's not good, Joseph. That's not a good combination, buddy.
It is in my book. The other one I had, I'm sorry, is Cotton Eye Joe. Nobody's gonna tell me that that's a bad song. You can play that at any stadium loudspeaker. You're gonna get the crowd pumping. It's a fist pump song.
Where the
Just
fuck are we?
shut your mouth and enjoy it. Shut up and dance.
What about you? Any traditional bad songs that you felt were good, Bob?
It's the Magarena. Easily. A lot of people fucking hated that song, but if you grew up or you're in school around the time it came out, everybody knew the fucking dance. Everybody knew how to do the dance. It has to be the one. I think who was it that did it?
I tried to do this last night. I was like, wait a minute, how the fuck?
I don't know how to do it.
How do you do this song?
Standing and dancing. And
I was not standing. I just said I'm trying to remember how to do it. It took me a minute, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how it goes.
Huh? I think we all danced the Macarena at some wedding. I know I did. I mean, a lot of late 90s.
Well, I mean, that's really all you got.
Yeah, that's all I can do. That and the chicken dance. I'm going to defend a song that I think when we did best 90s one hit wonder, we insulted this song, but I'm going to walk it back a little bit. Mambo number 5, and I'm going to tell you why I've insulted this song. Well, let me defend it, and then you guys could respond. I think it captured the musical fusion of the 90s, sampling the 1949 Mambo number 5 song. It capitalized on the Latin movement, even though Lou Bega, I mean, he had a distinct voice, but he was German and he had an Italian father and a Ugandan mother. I always thought he was Latin because of the song and because of the accent and everything. This was like finding out that Tom and Shiv from Succession aren't American, so I was kind of shocked when I did my research this week. You can dance to it. And can we really hate on a guy who's dating 5 girls at once? I mean, good job, Lou Bega. He did everything right. It's not a bad song. I mean,
is that his real name?
5. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Well, then that's why I thought he was of Latin descent. I mean, I've always assumed he was like
I'm gonna look
Vega, as like you know, like Vega, you know.
What about you guys? What do you think?
It's not a good song to dance to. It's a shitty song. It was obviously a song they made for, to use for commercialized whatever the fuck. It's a terrible, terrible song. I can't believe you two. I can't even look at y'all right now.
Go ahead. His name is his middle. His stage name is his middle name. His name is David Lubega Balemezi.
Okay.
Or yeah,
Balamezi. You gotta shake your hand. It's Italian, sir.
Balamezi. Yeah.
Balamezi.
It was a hit, obviously, but it only has one audience. It's like weddings, school dances, and that's it. Like, are you really driving down the street listening to? They're basically the same thing. It's dancing.
And if that plays at somebody's wedding, I'm fucking leaving.
I don't know anybody that drove down the street listening to this song. So
it was big in 1999. I will say.
I know it was big, but doesn't make it good.
Yeah. So she said.
I will defend it. All right. So honorable mentions. Bob, let's go to you first. Who do you got for us?
Well, Crash Test Dummies was the first one on my fucking list. I hate that song. Joseph, come on, man. Eiffel 65, dude. Yes. I'm Blue. I hated. I mean, not hated, but I don't like that song. I can't jam or cruise to that song. A song I hate. We heard it last night. Sean Mullins' Lullaby. The whispering.
That's a good song.
Fuck no, is that a good song? Jesus Christ. God damn it.
Kind of like Nashville.
Anybody who stops the song to whisper during the chorus, no, it's not gonna work. What the fuck? Who do you think you are? Squirrel Nut Zippers Hell. It's like a shitty song that tried to make it for Beetlejuice but didn't. I don't know if you've ever heard that one.
Yeah, I love the Squirrel Nut Zippers. Yeah,
and of course I had Cotton Eye Joe because come on, man, Jesus Christ. Two in my honorable mentions of the worst were two that you really like. So I don't know. We have to. What about Donna Lewis, Joseph? I Love You Always Forever. Is that your jam too? Because it's on my list.
I don't like that song.
I don't like that song.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, that's on my list. That's the last one. What do you got, Joseph?
Well, I'm happy to hear that you didn't say Informer by Snow. So.
I got that on my list.
I love Informer by Snow.
All right. I had Who Let the Dogs Out too by Baha Man. Just totally repetitive. Too much screaming. Just a bunch of garbage. I got Mbop by Hanson. Didn't like it. Wasn't for me. It is what it is. I did have Lullaby by Sean Mullins too. We discussed this. We were like, it's the fact that he that talking that he does for the chorus, and then he actually sings. I don't know. It was weird. Rico Suave by Gerardo.
Yes. Oh wow, you said it so Mexicano. I like it.
Well, that's his fucking name. What's his stage name?
Suave. Yeah.
Randall wore a bandana for at least a month after that song came out.
Such a horrible
Rico.
Did he have the boots with like the metal tip?
Suave.
It's funny, one of our buddies, that was his AOL profile.
Oh yeah.
Rico Suave.
I know. He was not.
And finally, I do have Blind Melon, No Rain. It's not for me, man. I just can't get past that song, so I didn't listen to any of the other ones. So I know you talked about Ran, how it had some other good songs, but it's has though too much.
That's my biggest problem with Blind Melon is that they were a good band, but their one hit was just a terrible song. So I don't know if there are too many bands that have that distinction of being a solid band and their one hit was not their best song, but that's just me. I know it's
maybe they just weren't good.
Oh, they're good. Okay, so my honorable mentions: "I'm Too Sexy" by Right Said Fred. I mean, just a horrible. "Cotton Eye Joe" by Rednecks. I had "Rico Suave" too by Gerardo. So not a very good song.
Oh, attaboy. There you go.
I had "Blue" by Eiffel 65. I had by the Crash Test Dummies. It's just a fun title to say, I guess. Informer by Snow, Canadian reggae artist who spent a year in detention and rapped about it. So I mean,
everybody at Randall's junior high dance dressed like him. You know,
they did. Well, the thing is,
shirt.
I own 2 copies of that vinyl album. 2.
The thing about Snow, I don't know if this is both good and bad, but he came after Vanilla Ice. So was Vanilla Ice like the person that opened the door for a person like Snow, or did that hinder him?
I think Snow opened the door for Paul DeWall, sir.
That's an interesting question, but I know it will take up too much time.
No, we can talk about it a little while.
No, it's hard to. I think in my opinion, I think he opened the door for him, but maybe. I mean, I'd have to look at how successful Ice Ice Baby was versus Informer.
Very.
It was more if it was more successful,
way more
then it would seem like it harmed him because people were like, this isn't Ice Ice Baby, so fuck it, I don't want to hear it."
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Ice Ice Baby holds a distinction of being the top selling one hit wonder ever. I think. I don't know. I have to check on that. Yeah. But that is a good song. Ice Ice Baby is a good song. Okay. I had Macarena by Los Del Rio, Butterfly by Crazy Town. I know you like that song, Joseph. It's just ridiculous.
Because you've never tried it.
Damn it,
I
do.
We Like to Party by the Venga Boys. Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something. That song starts off, you're like, okay, not bad. And then it just goes to shit. Like, I think they wrote the music.
Do they whisper? Do they whisper?
No, they don't whisper.
Like a lullaby.
They should have just stayed quiet, though. Okay. I had No Rain by Blind Melon, Groove is in the Heart by D-Light, One of Us by Joan Osborne. Remember, we had that influx of a lot of singer-songwriter female artists, which was great, but it just opened the doors to some great ones and some not so great ones like Joan Osborne's One of Us, Summer Girls by LFO, and Who Let the Dogs Out by the Baha Men.
LFO, how dare you talk about Joseph's band like that? Didn't we have that talk? We talked about that maybe like episode 40. It's been a long time. Jesus Christ, how many episodes have we done?
It's been a long time. We're going to go on with our selections. Bob, you're up first. What do you have for us for worst 90s one-hit wonder?
Oh, man. First off, I'd just like to apologize to any female fan of our show who was a teen in 1997, because my pick is surely going to make you all angry. I went with Barbie Girl by Aqua, the most annoying one-hit wonder of the 90s. Yeah, I said it, Karen. Come at me, bro. First off, the bald dude with the earring is supposed to be Ken. The fuck out of here. There's no fucking way that's Ken.
Hi, Bobby.
I fucking can't stand that.
He needs to just shave that shit.
He looks like the third Right Said Fred brother, dude. I don't know how he came into play in the whole Barbie. Why does she sing like a little girl? I mean, who came up with that? Who came up with that fucking idea? And who came up with the goddamn lyrics? Have y'all heard the lyrics? What perv came up with the lyrics? You can comb my hair, undress me everywhere, I act like a star. And I can beg on my knees. You could touch me and play. You're my doll. Rock and roll. Feel the glamour in the pink. I mean, this is a fucking child's toy, for God's sakes.
Bob, could you say that again? But could you whisper it like Sean Mullins? Because that was really good.
And I get that the lyrics and everything is supposed to be ironic, but I mean, all it did was annoy the shit out of me hearing this song, and it's very repetitive and the high-pitched little girl voice that only ever worked when I heard Katie Morgan do it. So I don't know. I'm just not into this. The song just annoys the shit out of me. This is one I will change as soon as I hear it if it comes on the radio. It's not embarrassing. It's just annoying. And I don't get it. I get that they took a popular toy in Barbie and they try to make a song out of it. Feels like a cash grab to me. It feels like a shitty song to me. It feels very, very, the lyrics are very, very awkward, and considering the subject matter is a child's play toy and have very sexual lyrics, I thought was kind of like, oh shit, wait, that's kind of out there. But yeah, not my cup of tea. I'm not a big fan of the song at all, and it really does rub me the wrong way, like Christina Aguilera's "Genie in a Bottle." What do y'all think about it?
Well, I think it seemed stupid. It seemed meaningless. It seemed unnecessary. But I'm going to tout the intelligence behind this song. When you're a child, you are taught the alphabet and days of the week through song. That's how mnemonics work, right? It's a method to get us learn without knowing that we are actually learning. The song Barbie Girl, though annoying, is a catchy earworm, exposing the value at the time society put on sex appeal, body issues. It's ridiculous, but it does talk about sexism, misogynism. And while I agree the song isn't a good listen, it's a good lesson on how societal standards cause this fake imagery to overtake and control people's lives, particularly women. And this is 1997 before social media, right? But yes, in retrospect, it's a tough listen, but I think it's aged well if you focus on the social context of it. Aqua did exactly what they set out to do. They were ahead of their time with this. It's kind of like how throughout the NBA during the 80s and 90s, European players never really caught that huge break. Now we take from their game. Now three out of the five NBA players, the best ones, are European. That's what this song was. It was ahead of its time. I think Aqua was not only utilizing this song as social commentary about the ridiculousness of image and how we worship excess in the United States. Remember, they were banned from Denmark. They performed it exactly how they perceived Americans would perform a song of this ilk, down to the baby doll voice and the masculine chants. It's a parody, it's satire, and it was self-aware and intentional. Guess what? They were right. We ate it up. This band, if you read their interviews, they are very calculated and intelligent. You listen to the song, you think like, oh my God, what a bunch of goofballs. This song sucks. But they were very self-aware. This wasn't an attempt at a good song. It was a mockery of what we liked as Americans and what we consumed and how we behaved. So that's the genius behind it. Yes, they were sued by Mattel. So anyone who is wondering if this song will make an appearance in the Greta Gerwig Barbie movie, it probably isn't, most likely won't. And in 2002, a judge ruled that the song was protected as free speech under the First Amendment, and also throughout the defamation lawsuit Aqua's record company filed against Mattel. The judge said in the ruling, the parties are advised to chill. Apparently Samuel L. Jackson was a judge, I guess. The case was dismissed, and in the process, it garnered loads of media attention for the song and the band, which again allowed for the song to continue its shelf life. It never really went away. I think what the band did was smart. Of course, they were a Danish pop group, dance pop group, who knew if they attached themselves to something that was a novelty in America where everybody wants to hit it big, this would be their opportunity. And what's more recognizable than Barbie? What's more American than Barbie? The song has sold more than 8 million McDonald's, which that's a spoiler for next episode. This song has sold more than 8 million copies worldwide. It's been a huge hit on several continents. I don't think that we were the target audience for this song, but that didn't stop it from being a huge pop culture phenomenon. It helped to popularize the Euro dance craze that was going on at the time. It's fun, it's catchy, and probably sounds great accompanied by whatever club drug was popular at the time. The message is that it's okay to be the person you are and look the way you look and be confident in that. You don't necessarily have to have plastic surgeries to be a better person. Aqua member Lenny Nystrom, I think he's the bald guy in the video, he said of the song, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's pop music. If you want to see the layers to it, there's a lot of layers if you want to see it. But we kind of took the piss out of Pamela Anderson's Baywatch performances and her picture-perfect image with her silicone boobs. We wanted to take the piss out of that kind of perfect girl. That was the main thing we discussed. We didn't say it very often, but that was the main thing. That was the main thing behind it. They were aware and they wanted the video to look cartoonish. So that was very intentional. It looked like the Flintstones. It looked like Scooby-Doo. But think about how this song and songs like this helped to transform what was happening in music at the time. People were ready for something different. Music was leaving behind grunge and post-grunge. If anything, this song and songs like this help to remind us that music doesn't always have to be depressing and serious. You don't have to take yourself seriously. And most of all, you have to have fun, and people were buying it. Now, Bob, is this a good song? Absolutely not. Would I listen to it? No. But I think the intent of this song and the self-awareness of a very intelligent band had a very calculated initiative, and I think they set out what they wanted to do, and that was to become big in America with that one hit. Joseph, what do you think?
Before you respond, because I know I just have to say, like, yeah, I always go into listening to the radio and music, finding a song with great intent and a song that, with a meaning behind it. It may suck, but if you just listen, we can find all the great music. Get the fuck out of here. That's my response. Okay, go ahead, Rick. Jesus Christ.
That's how we listen to music. But anyway, go, Joseph.
Well, first off, nobody takes a piss on Pamela Anderson's perfect silicone 90s boobs, all right?
Okay, unless you're Tommy Lee.
Look, this song, yes, it's horrible. This is honestly, Bob, good pick.
What?
I know this song was massively popular It's a club song. It's a dance song. You do what you do. You listen to it where you listen to it. I honestly don't know anybody that actually drove around. I don't think we were driving at, maybe we were, I don't remember. I don't know anybody that actually walked around and listened to this on a CD player or a Walkman or Discman or whatever. It's silly. It's almost to the point where it's like, it's kind of, like it's
serious,
annoying.
Joseph.
It's annoying as fuck.
Rebuttal, it's serious. It's serious. They're talking about.
But it's bad because it's annoying as fuck.
Serious. I said the message was, the intent was.
It's annoying. Somewhere mixed in there is maybe like a decent beat. Get rid of the annoying high vocals. Subject matter was really crazy. Yeah, that's for a toy. I mean, it was controversial. They did what they, it was what it was. They knew what they were doing, like Randy said. But it's just super annoying. Like it really is. And yes, I wasn't a fan of that girl's vocals. I don't know what she can sing when she's just singing a regular song. It sucks. It really does. I mean, of course nobody wants to hear it. And I don't, like I said, I would never, like Bob said too, if for some reason this song came on, I just completely, we'd switch it. We never listen to it. We never watch it when we're having a 90s night. It's just something that we immediately skip. It's a terrible song. It really is. I don't understand its popularity, but I know, like I said, it has its audience. It's a club thing. It's just not for me.
There's a very good Rolling Stone article out there that I took some research from. And when you listen to excerpts from the interview, or when you read the excerpts, a very intelligent band who knew what they're doing now. Is the song good? No, I wouldn't listen to it. I don't think it's but I think their intent with the song is what makes the song a hit, not so much the vocals and the music. Yeah, that gets annoying and catchy, but it was very much part of the zeitgeist, because we did Best 90s Dance hit a couple of months ago, and all the songs sounded just like this. They were all catchy hooks. They were all silly. They were all just beats and strobes and all that. So I think their intent with it works. Is it a good song? No. Is it a song I would want to listen to? No. But I think if you learn from the song and really look deep into it, it's an intelligent song. It's a shitty song, but it's also a smart song.
I mean, there's a lot of bands that are very political that put out great fucking music. Pink Floyd, Rage Against the Machine, Neil Young. I think there's a way to do it if you want people to get the message. Will make a great fucking song and not a stupid shitty one. If you want them to listen to it over and over again and read in between the lines and get that secret message or whatever's going on, that social commentary, then put out good fucking music. Pink Floyd did it. Neil Young did it. Fucking shit. Come on, man.
I think this was a band that was staying in their lane. I don't think they have the talents of Pink Floyd as far as
driven off the lane.
Yeah, but I think they were staying in their lane. Because I know that they were a pretty popular European dance pop group, and they had some hits in Denmark. So when they came to the U.S., they go, well, what can we do to make sure we make a splash in the U.S.? Let's talk about something very popular there. Barbie. Let's make a song about Barbie. That's what they did. But I mean, like I said, I don't think you can expect a dance pop hit to come up with an extremely critical song like a Pink Floyd or anybody else of that ilk. But I think they stayed in their lane and they did what they had to do. But thank God they didn't have any other hits. I will say that. But their one hit I think is very memorable and very intelligent, and that's all I'll say about it. Anyway, Joseph, what do you got for us?
I selected What's Up by Four Non Blondes, released back in 1993. It's a simple strum chord progression opening of a song, and basically that continues throughout the entire song. If you're looking to learn the guitar, this would be perfect for you, because it's basically wash, rinse, repeat the whole song. I'll be fair. Lyrically, though, if you read the lyrics, it's a great piece, a great poem, great expression of angst and struggle and turbulence in a life. I'm not knocking Linda Perry as a songwriter or producer. If you look up her credits, she's written some huge hits for other artists and produced big, successful songs for a lot of artists in the early 2000s, specifically Christina Aguilera and Pink. Not my cup of tea music, but very popular female singers. She's produced and a lot more as I learned. This song being the only real success from this album released by Four Non Blondes. Her solo career wasn't anything to write about either. And here's why. Linda Perry does not have a great singing voice. All right, let's be frank, bro. Actually kind of terrible. And I'm not talking shit because I can't sing. I know that I can't sing, and that's why I don't try to make music.
You have a beautiful voice, sir.
a few
Great
quotes,
speaking voice.
A few, I know I can do that. A few quotes from a music ranking website I looked at, specifically rateyourmusic.com, which is not a plug. It's just, it helped me to learn more about the feelings of this song. Anyway, somebody said, I've heard this song sang better in karaoke bars. Someone else said, this song causes me physical pain. The female vocalist sounds like a dying cat. I like unique vocals, and I'm a fan of many musicians with bad voices, but the vocalist is punching way above her weight, and it's just hard to listen to. And this one's one of my favorites. You can have a technically bad voice and still sound good if you know how to control your vocals. See Bob Dylan. I thought
he
that
controlled his vocals?
I know that sounds harsh, but look, it's what a lot of people feel, and it's how I feel. Like I don't think she has at least not for this song or whatever she was trying to do. I didn't say those things. Those are just what I read. With that in mind, again, like I said, the lyrics are great on their own. Read those lyrics. They're really good. I think she's a great songwriter, but it doesn't fit the vibe of this sort of hippy dippy, happy go lucky song that is the final product. What was the intention? Maybe it was supposed to be ironic. Maybe that was her intention, but her intention, but it just doesn't work. It sucks. I really don't understand the appeal of this song, and I don't know how this one song led to an album being certified platinum. It just kind of goes to show you like what I mentioned earlier about how you got one great song and there's no other way to get it other than to buy this album. So you're going to make a shitload of money, and a lot of albums were sold because a lot of people wanted to hear this one song. I think the song found more success as a dance hit. I believe we've all heard the club dance remix, which was very popular globally. Great cover by He-Man that we've all seen on the internet.
He-Man, he's a hero.
But this one, the original one, it's just terrible. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, and I really want to emphasize the vocals. It's a interesting song when you read the lyrics, and the actual tone of the song that's produced and put together and put out there just doesn't work, and it sucks in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Before we start, is He-Man just the worst name for a superhero in like the history of fucking names?
He-Man.
You think you could have come up with something more creative? Fuck. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
All right, guys. All right, so let's talk. Arms. Let's talk about the massive neo-hippie anthem that is What's Up. Nobody says What's Up in the song. If I recall correctly, Joseph, and correct me if I'm wrong, the studios wanted to avoid audiences confusing this song with Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. So that's why they had a different title, because nobody says What's Up in this song. The band looks like they all met at a 24-hour laundromat. I mean that as a compliment. I love the authenticity. Four Non-Blondes started in San Francisco in 1989 and gained traction at a time when record companies were looking for authentic female rockers. That was the time, early 90s, where, this was right before Alanis happened. So I think record companies were looking for those, because we had those big music festivals with a lot of female rockers that were going on at the time, and Four Non-Blondes fit the bill perfectly. And by the way, lead singer Linda Perry, who's an incredibly talented musical mind. She might not be much of a singer, but she's produced songs with Gwen Stefani, Pink, Adele, Alicia Keys. So she's still working. Christina Aguilera.
Yeah,
she's still doing her thing. Yeah, very much into the music world right now. So while this band is considered a one-hit wonder, the mind behind this song is still greatly contributing to modern day music. I was reading about the history of the composition of this song, and there's this great excerpt about how the bassist Krista Hillhouse, who was living with Linda Perry she was in the middle of having sex, Krista was, and she heard Linda Perry playing this song like in the kitchen, and she immediately got up out of bed and ran towards the music. I mean, what songs, upon hearing for the first time, would make you stop during the act? I don't know. What about you guys? I think if I heard like Lionel Richie say You Say Me, it would make me stop. Other than that, I don't think I'm stopping. But she heard this song and she thought it was better than anything she was doing at the time. And Linda Perry, who was 24 at the time, even astonished herself. And she thought she was plagiarizing the song because she felt it was just too good, too familiar. It was that mind strike. It was a dance hit by DJ Miko, which was a very popular dance club mix at the time. So this song saw a second shelf life, and it wasn't too far from the debut of the song that mix was released. When the song came out in 1993, Joseph, I could not stand it. I would change the dial. I would change the channel. Grunge was still hot. Rap and hip hop was hitting. And I don't know why this was in the mix. I just did not get it. It was kind of the Lilith Fair sort of, vibe. And I just wasn't listening to that at the time. I've now grown to appreciate it. I listen to it now. And it's a time capsule for me. Out of all the songs mentioned, this one makes me the most nostalgic. And I'm talking about all the songs we've mentioned, honorable mentions and whatnot. And I wish I could go back in time and appreciate it more than I did at the time, because it was something that I would see. I thought these guys look ridiculous. This is a horrible song. The video sucks. But to me, I think over time, I've grown to like this song. I think at the time, the band was seen as this lucky misfit bohemians who were trying to overthink their reach. I mean, I think they were trying to speak to people at that age. And now this song speaks to people who are reflecting back at that age. I think the song speaks and connects to people. Forget the lyrics for a second. The tone and the pacing of the song is very well done. I know Linda Perry was upset because the final product she thought was too shined up. She liked her raw sort of acoustic version. And when she heard the studio version, she was not happy with it. Evidently, a lot of people weren't, right? Judging by the comments that you read, which, by the way, were very mean. Anyway, on the honorable mentions and selections, I think if this one gets released, it would be the biggest hit out of all of them. I just think it was well done, especially with the singer-songwriter phase that we're going into now. But Joseph, take solace in the fact that a lot of people agree with you. People were sick of how much this song was played. I was one of them. It did have a draw to it, making it a song that you just didn't want to listen to on repeat. There was no draw to it. Linda Perry hated the song herself. I told you about the final finished product. I do like the song now. If I hear it on the road, I will listen to it because it reminds me of a time. Now, does that make it a good song? I don't know. It wasn't a good song for me at the time, but nostalgic wise, I know there's a lot of people who love Led Zeppelin, who love Pink Floyd, and if they hear a Casey and the Sunshine Band song, they didn't like it at the time, but it reminds them of a time. And this song just happens to remind me a lot of high school, and that's why I appreciate it. Bob, what do you got?
Yeah, I also agree. I didn't get the whole voodoo doctor hat and goggles get up, but I guess I'm not cool or whatever. I can imagine Linda Perry listening to Joseph's speech on the song and like just saying ooh fucking just losing her shit. Joseph, that was very mean. That's very uncalled for. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I agree. It's not a very good song. I know Joseph, as he doesn't pray for revolution anymore ever since he grew up and has a mortgage and shit. So he's all government, suit and tie kind of guy now. So you wouldn't get it, Joseph. You just don't get it anymore. That's why you hate it so much. Linda Perry was actually good friends with the lead singer for Third Eye Blind, so that goes to show you, Rand, what kind of person she is. I think Rand, if you haven't heard, Rand really doesn't like doesn't like Stephen Jenkins at all.
As a person, he's an asshole. He's a good singer.
An asshole. He's a good singer. He's a good singer. That folksy alternative rock music, and I know Rand mentioned like Lilith Fair and that female trying to find another lead female vocalist that fits this alternative mold. I think she was trying to fit that mold. Maybe that's why this song was so popular, because and it was why it was pushed so much, because you said this was before Alanis. Alanis came out and she just pretty much stole the fucking show, and everybody was kind of. Although the chick from the Cranberries, a really amazing singer as well, and she was very alternative. Dolores,
yeah.
I think that's where she fell short. As far as the voice is concerned, I don't know if her voice is that bad, man. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I mean, she doesn't crack notes or anything like that. I mean, she's just the average alternative rock singer, I would say, in the 90s. I don't know. I agree that it's a bad song, but I wouldn't say it's a terrible song. I wouldn't change the channel automatically if it came on. I have to wait until, she says, I said, hey, what's going on? Which is kind of ironic because that's the first thing I said when I took ecstasy back in college. But I think that she's average. The song is average, but it's not terrible. And I think that for my song, that automatically it just annoys the shit out of me. And this one doesn't. It reminds you of a time, and it reminds me of a female rock alternative singers of the 90s, especially the early 90s. That was the look, that was the sound. And I think she just, wasn't as good as Alanis. That's all there is to it.
It's before Alanis, but this song was released in 93, and it's that, what did you call it? Neo hippie.
Yeah, it's sort of like neo hippie era where
So in '92, that's when No Blind Melon.
No Rain was around that time. That was around the same time.
Released in '92.
Yeah.
So, and it's another one of these like huge
hippie,
popular
yeah.
songs. It very, that vibe. So
Yeah, like the
I don't know.
Lemonheads. There's a lot of bands like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe she's a victim of that. I look, I said what I said. I personally don't think she has the greatest voice, and there's people that agree. I didn't say those mean things. I just read them. But she
but I agree totally with it.
But she is
like she sounds like cats fucking. Is that what one of that guys said? It's kind of out there.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, Joseph.
But she is a very talented songwriter. I read the lyrics to this song, and it's a powerful song. I really believe that. I just think it was put to horrible use as far as the music, and this could have been sung by somebody else. I would love to actually see somebody take this song, redo it, reimagine it, and
like DJ
and see
Miko.
how that goes.
I would say this. I know we have a podcast based on conjecture, and we say some things out of humor, but some of the things I've read, because I've read the same things, Joseph, some of the things I read about Linda Perry and the band were just very out there. Like, I hope she chokes on a cheeseburger. I'm like, what are you trying to say? They had a hit. It was a song that a lot of people liked. It was a song that a lot of people didn't like, but they had a hit. They made it, and she's still a working producer.
Yes.
So, I think some of those, but I'm glad you brought that up, because it just goes to show how people can be totally dismissive and ignorant without trying to have a interesting, intelligent conversation about trying to understand the song. So I appreciate that you brought that up, because there's some people out there who, it is what it is. I won't get into that.
I'm a good person.
Yeah.
That's fucking Joseph. Jesus Christ.
Bob, you had mentioned how she and Third Eye Blind, Stephen Jenkins, they have a story about where he would dine at the diner she was working as a waitress on, and they were both writing their hit songs at the same time. And she had mentioned, I got this song, I think it's gonna hit, and I think he was writing Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, or one of their first big hits. Now he's actually performing at that diner. No, I'm just joking. He's doing okay.
And he didn't leave a tip because he's an asshole.
He is. Anybody listen to Stephen Jenkins on YouTube, listen to his interview. If there's anybody that's more narcissistic and self-involved than that man, you got to name him, because that guy is just horrible. Anyway, we'll go on to my pick. Great band, though. Okay. I selected How Bizarre by OMC. I know we have some listeners from New Zealand, and you have given us some great talents. You've given us Peter Jackson. You've given us Russell Crowe. You've given us NBA player Steven Adams. You've given us the WWE's The Bushwhackers. Thank you, New Zealand. You've given us so much, but we wish you hadn't given us this band. Anyway, a true hallmark of a one-hit wonder are these three things. Number one, you cannot name any of their other songs. I can't name any of their other songs. Number two, you don't know anyone who owned their album. I don't. And number three, the third thing, if you want to know the rest, hey, buy the rights. Okay, so anyway, we got to get that line out there.
Nope.
Hey, you know what? He swung, but he didn't quite miss. He got it was a foul ball. It's a foul ball. That's all right. He tried. Give it the old college try.
By the way, when OMC wrote that weak ass line, they thought it was going to be the ultimate badass mic drop line of all time. I can imagine the songwriter throwing his pen down in utter satisfaction after that line was written. It's right up there with anything on Sympathy of the Devil. He thought it's going to be on t-shirts and coffee mugs, but it's a weak line. We've made fun of that line before. Not a very good line. So
yeah, it's kind of stupid.
It's to me the worst line in music history. Anyway,
Jesus
I think they thought people were going to slam down their Discman headphones after hearing that line, because fuck Nirvana, this guy doesn't give a shit what you and I think. It's so cool. Anyway, lead singer Paulie Fumana, who if you see in this video, he looks like a budget version of The Rock, was a gang member in Auckland, New Zealand before achieving pop immortality with his song. He received his musical training in a New Zealand juvenile prison. What are they doing over there? Okay, this reached number one in 8 different countries, this song did. The first of which was, of course, New Zealand in early 1996. Other countries include Australia, Canada. I will give this credit to this song, because you have to give credits to all these songs, because if they weren't hits, we wouldn't be talking about them. Despite not charting on the Billboard Top 100 earlier due to a technicality of not being released as a radio-only promo single, it was everywhere in late 95, early 96. So this truly makes it a wonder due to its unconventional nature of it being a pop success. So this song wasn't supposed to be a big charting US song. It just so happened that somebody played it on the radio, then somebody else played it, then they made a video, then boom, it blew up. Let's break this song down, this monstrosity. It's a weird and irreverent song, and it was catchy enough to garner attention. So we'll give it credit, right? This song so badly wants to be clever that the self-awareness weakens what could have been a decent song. Because I think the tone of the song is okay. So the story is about a cop who pulls over the 69 convertible because he admires it. I think Jay-Z did this storyline a lot better with 99 Problems. Anyway, so all of a sudden we are pulled into some fucked up story about a guy who remembers a woman and is using circus metaphors to describe a story of a chaotic former relationship. And the guy's story is going nowhere, and it's going nowhere so fast he gets himself out of these shitty lyrics with, "You want to know the rest? Hey, buy the rights." I just think that's a lazy line, and he just couldn't think of anything else. Anyway, guys, that lazy-ass line and that deadpan delivery is code for, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but the song sounds good, so I'm going to release it. Maybe he had the tune, the music, the backup vocals, and the hook, but don't be fooled. This is not a complete song. This is the homework you turn in bigger fonts, indentions, double space to make it look like you did more work than you did. The video is a total train wreck. They spent, I think, about $7,000 on the budget on the intro scene where it looks okay. Like when they're driving out on the convertible, that looks pretty cool. The rest of it looks like it takes place in like a green screen from like glamour shots at your local mall. I think that this song, how can I put this? I think it fits the era. I'm going to defend it a little bit. I think it fits the era really well, but I think the longevity of it, I think the lyrics are bad. I think the tone of it is terrible. I don't think this song escapes the 90s. And so when I think of worst 90s one-hit wonders, my first criteria is, does it escape the decade? Can we still listen to it? I don't think you could still listen to this song. What do you guys think?
Funny, because I didn't know anything about the band until you just mentioned that. I've always assumed this was, and the music video, I thought these were Latin people. I'm not gonna lie. New Zealand? Okay, yeah. Wow. Interesting. Look,
the world of lies.
I don't agree with your take as the worst one-hit wonder because you're too obsessed with, or you're too focused on his rapping, or whatever you want to call it.
Call it rapping, yeah, lazy rapping, yeah.
The music itself is, I mean, it sounds like they were. Yes, I think you said they were. It was very on par with what was kind of going on. This song has a pretty good Latin inspired beat, which can be used commercially. It is used commercially. It can be used for it can be used in movies, commercials, a lot of things. It's perfect. The music, I don't know if it's the chorus or whatever. And I don't know the name of the female singer in the video. I don't know if she was part of the band.
She was, yeah.
Her and him harmonizing sounds okay to me. If they had went in a different direction, more towards that, or maybe focused her a little bit more,
yeah, I thought
the
she
song
was good.
probably would have been pretty successful. Like I said, I think it's not a song. Look, I'll admit, I'll listen to it if it comes on. I do think his rapping, singing voice is a little, not for me. It's a little kind of cheesy. The lyrics were cheesy, like you said. That line at the end is pretty fucking stupid, but its music is okay. Like, I don't think the tone of the song or the beat are horrible. They're actually pretty catchy, and it's got a little flavor to it. It's perfect for certain situations. I think you're just focusing way too much on, like I said, his rapping or him as a vocalist.
Well, that's like 90%.
I know,
of the song,
I know that's the song, but
Reading take that out. The lines, there's more intent in the song, Randall.
Take that.
Find it and tell me.
Take all of that out, and I think you put somebody else. Somebody can take this song today, a really good singer, and sing over it, different lyrics, different something, whatever, and it would. And it's actually, I just actually read right now, it's found a new success on TikTok. Apparently.
Yeah, TikTok.
It's fucking crazy. I don't think it's that bad. I really don't. It's not personally one of my favorites. I think, like I said, it's the vocals for me that I can do without, but pretty good beat. What do you think, Bob?
I like that you mentioned the opening scene. I mean, the opening scene, the music video kind of has like a Tarantino-esque feel to it.
Yeah. I like the first.
69 Chevy. I agree that the rest of the video kind of goes to shit, but I think you have you have a thing for guys in ascots tied around their necks. I think that's what.
I love Mr. Furley too. By the way, anyway, go ahead.
He was a better dancer than Mick Jagger ran, and I think that bothers you that you can get this guy from New Zealand.
He dances, okay.
He did have a few other singles. On the Run. No, you've never heard On the Run. It's got a really cool surf guitar kind of vibe to it. He has Right On. Land of the Plenty was it was kind of shitty. But he has a couple, dude. But I do dig the How Bizarre vibe, dude. Like Joe said, it's got that Spanish guitar, mariachi trumpet, pop vibe mix, with that kind of island sound to it, man. I don't know. It's got a good little beat, dude. It doesn't bother me or annoy the shit out of me. And does it remind me of the 90s? Yes, it does. It very much does. So the rapping, sure, I could do without. But I mean, it's kind of got like a club mix kind of sound to it, dude. But it's got a cool little vibe. I like that island vibe with the mariachi music, mariachi trumpet, I should say, going on in the background. It doesn't scream annoying to me. It doesn't scream change the channel. It doesn't even scream this is embarrassing, you better roll up your windows at a stoplight. It's just a 90s song. Got a lot of nostalgia to it. I don't think it's a terrible song. I think it's a great song. No. Did I buy the album? No. Would I change the song automatically? Probably not. You know what I mean? I might listen to it for a while, at least so he got to the fucking chorus where he says, how bizarre. Social commentary, Rand. It's in my face. Every time I look around, it's in my face. She's not talking about a gun or something else that could be worse. But I don't think that it's such a terrible song. By the way, Joe, so I was gonna ask, who has a worse voice, her or Linda Perry? The fans want to know.
Him, the guy?
Well, yeah.
I don't know if
Linda Perry.
He's mean. He's mean, Linda. His name is Joseph Jos.
There's a reason why all these songs are hits or were hits, right? And the reason the song was a hit is that it did very well with the fusion of, as you guys mentioned, the Latin music and the island beats that they brought in from their home country, and it was very eclectic. I think you had like Filipino representation, you had representation from other ethnicities in the video. It did very well with that. The lead singer, the rapper, who I know he's, rest in peace, he died about 10 years ago. Very monotone, very lazy. I think that if you take the chorus that the female singer sings and you take the beat and you put somebody else in front of it, I don't think it's that bad, but I think the guy just completely destroys the song. That's just me, man.
He had some cool chops, though. His sideburns were on point.
Yeah, his eyebrows too.
The thing, and then listening to it today, it's fun to try to make fun of the tone of his voice and the way he because I remember because remember back we would always be like, how bizarre. We would always be like, how bizarre.
Close. That's close. That's like a bunt. You may have gotten on base with it.
Like Bob said, I mean, I'm not gonna roll down the windows and if I'm gonna raise the windows if somebody pulls up next to me and hears me listening to the song. But it's like he said, it's not one that we skip. We kind of actually enjoy it, and I think we enjoy it, at least I do, more just for the music. But it's catchy, man. I mean, it's a nice little, like Bob said, that island groove, like. It's a great beach song. It really is. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe if I'm on the beach, a few drinks, maybe I'll change my tune. Yes.
Let me ask you this:
no salt.
Let's say you're on vacation and some beach bar or whatever. We're at the island and some cover band plays this song. Are you gonna be upset? Are you gonna like let them do their thing? You know that he's not gonna. Whoever's singing it's not gonna sing the way that this singer does. Are you gonna enjoy it? Are you gonna enjoy the vibe?
If he sings exactly like the singer, I will not like it. But if he changes it up, I think if you put Linda Perry to sing this song, it would be amazing. Or even Barbie Girl, whatever. But
what if you put him to sing "What's Up"?
I wanted to do that impression so badly, but I'm not gonna.
What's
going on?
Okay. Sounded like a scene from like Friends in the 90s.
He doesn't give a fuck, right? Okay, so anyway, final questions, guys. 90s had some great one-hit wonders, but when you think of some of the worst, is this era take the cake as far as the worst one-hit wonders of any decade? We'll be covering all decades because I just want to say, just wait until we do 2000s one-hit wonder. I have the undisputed song for that one. I can't wait till we do that one.
Camp Kick Closing Time. It was a great song. They told me I had to leave the bar every time that song came on.
Oh, that song was great. But some bad 90s one-hit wonders, do you guys feel like it's just the decade was just hit or miss? Or what's your opinion?
It just might be. I think it might be a tie between them and the 80s. I know the 80s was... They're all very similar, but a lot of the 80s bands. But I don't know, man. It might take the cake for me. It really, really does. What do you think, Joe?
It's hard to say because I agree with you with the 80s. There's a shitload of 80s songs that were hits. So you're just like, who the fuck are these people? And you never heard from them ever
Flock
again.
of Seagulls.
Same thing with the 90s.
2 hits.
I think early 2000s are the same as well. So no, I don't think they're like the biggest of the worst or whatever, however you want to describe it.
I think, we'll probably cover, because there's a lot of 2-hit wonders out there and down the line. But let me ask you guys a hypothetical question. If we cover 2-hit wonders down the line, if I brought 3 tickets to go watch the Spin Doctors, would you all come with me?
No.
Why not?
Are you paying for them?
I will pay for them.
I'm sure that sounds good.
I'm sure the booze there is going to be expensive.
You know what? Fuck it. You know what? I mean, I only know that one song.
All you got to if you. That's all you got to say, and you're with everybody else. All the other 20 people that are in the crowd.
If we'd go crazy for that song. We'd have a great 3 or 4 minutes based on that song, just because it's a fun song. Okay,
that's about as long as the length of the concert as well.
They had one other one. Let's see. Last words on worst one-hit wonders. What do you guys got?
People are gonna. There's a lot of people that think that the songs we selected are just tremendous fucking songs. There's a lot of songs that we like that people would probably say that's their worst. That what they believe is the worst '90s one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
it's just a crazy, like we've mentioned, crazy decade of huge songs and the money grab. But all in all, just a good time for music, I guess. Really.
Bob, what do you think?
I agree 1,000,000%. It's not everybody's song is. I mean, not every song is gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but there really are no losers here or no winners.
They're all winners. Say. I mean, they made money.
Yeah, they made one hit. That's one more than us, right?
Yeah, one. That's well. I mean, we are on episode 90. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I agree because, like I said, all of our picks. Somebody out there really liked them, and a shitload of people out there really liked them for all these songs to be huge hits and garner some praise. So I think that all one-hit wonders are. I wish we had a lot more one-hit wonders that put something out. You know what I mean? Like the 2-hit wonders. I know you mentioned that might be a show. I wish there was a lot of. I mean, there's some bands that we talked about that were great bands that put out one song and we're like, what the fuck? What happened to these guys? So I'm just glad none of these 3 were that band. Our very first episode was best one-hit wonder. And if you haven't heard that one and you like to hear shitty audio, I mean, just go out and listen to it.
No, listen to it. Yes.
Arguments. Yeah, we had great arguments. We picked some. I mean, we had. It was just a great episode. We all sound. Well, I think Randy sounded pretty well. The rest of it. I mean, Randy. We did. It was just. It's a different episode. You listen to us now, and you're like, way more polished. Still shitty, but way more polished.
Want to throw something out there, and this is what me and Bob saw real quick last night. Want to talk about this band that we saw because we were looking up one-hit wonders, and this song came out.
Oh yeah,
this band that we've never even heard of, and after I looked into them, a lot of people apparently fucking liked this band. I have no idea who they are. Anyway, we had no idea who they are. Go out there, go to YouTube, look for a band called Trippin' Daisy, a song called "I Got a Girl."
That's a great song.
No, it is not.
I got a girl. Yeah, it's a good song.
Okay, but yeah,
trying to be like Scott
what
Weiland
exactly, dude?
And Kurt Cobain, but
look at the name of the band. Look at the name of the band. Tripping Daisy. Tripping Daisy. Bob, what are the 2 songs?
Tripping in a Hole and Daisy from
exactly. STP. And if you watch the video of the dude singing and some girls dyeing his hair red. And he keeps saying, I got a girl. And the first thing that popped in my head was Art School Girlfriend, STP. It's a pop rock version of STP. And It's horrible. They're horrible.
Have you seen that Sponge Plowed? That's a shitty song too.
Oh, yeah.
I love that song.
That was a good song. Remember we were into that.
Stay up, I fucking can.
That's
Will I wake up? Oh man, it's terrible.
They had a couple other songs that were pretty good.
Go check out that band.
Candles that they
Tell
had.
us that's not a SCP ripoff.
Anyway, we would like for you all to partner this episode up with our best 90s one-hit wonder. We did that last year. So if you look at our catalog, you'll figure it out. You'll find it. And it's good to sort of reflect back and forth on what we thought were some of our favorite and best 90s one-hit wonders and what we think are some of the worst. But I think it was an era for everyone that was given an opportunity. So, God bless that decade for that. If you were going down as a one-hit wonder, this was an era to do it because your song more than likely is still being played at beach bars, at weddings, in your car or whatever. Grocery stores. Yes. I don't think there's a shame in having one more hit than the rest of us ever had. And I think that these bands really went out there, and whether they were bad, whether they were anybody like Tripping Daisies or anybody, I think they had a moment in the sun, and that's a lot more than some of us can ever have. That's our show, everyone. Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up and let us know what your favorite or least favorite 90s one-hit wonder is. Most importantly, let us know what you think about the show. You may reach us at formidableopponents@gmail.com. You can follow us on all forms of social media by searching for Formidable Opponents. We want to thank Creative Little Pill for her great artwork. Please follow her on Instagram at Creative Little Pill. Please rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. And join us next episode. We're going to come out a little late next week, but we're going to be back with best fast food item. We're going to do something a little different next week. We're going to talk about food. So for Bob and Joseph, this is Randall. We'll see y'all next week.
Once there was this kid who...
Terrible. Even worse now.
If you want to watch the next episode, buy the roids. All right. All right, there you go. That was terrible.
Okay, what's really going on?
Yeah, what is going on with this episode? All right, guys.